Welcome back. I do hope that you are enjoying the conversation here. Honest, big, bold conversation on the Gigi Report. And Sarah has an amazing story. Amazing story. How you recovered and build your business after a devastating fire. And I think you've told us, you've shared with us, how it all worked, and some of the major things that you did, especially being able to win the trust of the people you had always been working with.
Yeah.
And I think that was a major key to your recovery.
Yes.
And that you managed to get the support of your employees, you managed to get the support of suppliers, you also managed to lure people, engineers, and be nice to them, make promises, keep those promises.
Yes.
So I would like us now kind of like to talk about the lessons, the bigger lessons. There are a lot of people who have gone into business, then a business fails, they get discouraged, and they drop off. So let's talk about the lessons.
Okay. Now, what I'll say is that, a business is like a child.
Okay.
And there's no parent, a normal parent, who gives up on her child.
Okay.
Or his child.
Yes.
So, you see, like when you get a baby, there are those stages in life, of course, as a child grows until maturity.
Yes.
So, it means as a parent, you don't give up on your child. So,
Yes.
Also, when you start a business, there's time is required for you to learn about your child, to see the challenges this child is facing.
Mm-hmm.
You stay with the child and trying to understand maybe it's a disease. What is the problem with the illness of my child?
Yeah.
You take that child to hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and then you consult the right doctor. If
Yes.
that doctor is not okay, he tells you that I don't think I can be able to take care of your child.
Yeah.
I'll connect you to another doctor who
Yes.
can be able to diagnose this problem.
Okay.
And that is the same case as a business.
Yes.
So it means if you don't make that step of faith,
Yes.
because we've gone to the doctor with a problem.
Yes.
So if you have a problem, whom do you take it to? Number one is to God.
Yes.
So you have to believe that God is going to support you and to help you.
Okay.
The other thing, of course, is people, because people are the ones who have solutions. You
Yes.
can't know everything. Even right now,
Yeah.
I am a business professional, but I can't brag and say I know everything.
Yes.
So you have to keep on learning.
Mm-hmm.
And at times, the mistakes we make as entrepreneurs
Yes.
is to assume that we know so much more than our employees.
Yes.
You don't know the people they meet outside.
Yes.
And your eyes can't be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So encourage them to be your eyes.
Yes.
Such that when they go, they see opportunities, they come and report to you, or you discuss with them in meetings, and also make them your friends.
Yes.
So when you make them your friends, they'll come and tell you, by the way, I went here and I saw this.
Yes.
Or I went there and I think if we can try this,
Yes.
it can work. Let me
Okay.
give you a very good example.
Mm.
One time, I called my employees to a meeting.
Yeah.
And that time, Outer Ring Road was being done by the Chinese.
Okay.
And at about 11 o'clock, the power always used to go off. I used to
Okay.
have a very small generator,
Yes.
which only used to run 2 or 3 machines.
Yes.
So you hear, of course, we have a workshop that has about 11, 12 machines.
Yes.
And so one of the employees came and asked me, "Hey, how about if we could buy a big generator
Okay.
that can run the entire workshop?
Yes.
Instead of us closing and going home, then we come the following day at 6 a.m., we work up to 10:30, then 11, we go home."
Yes.
And I was like, oh my goodness, I had not thought about that.
Yes.
You see, I'm still learning from my employees. So I listened. So even as an employer or as an entrepreneur, listen to people.
Mm-hmm.
Even the ones that you think they don't have the knowledge.
Yes.
They have ideas.
Yes.
They also think.
Exactly.
And they'll be seeing things that you also don't see.
Yes.
So that employee challenged me now to think more than I used to think.
Okay.
In fact, he went beyond my thoughts.
Yes.
And I said, oh, okay, yes, that's a good thing. Then when everybody else left, I told him to come back. And I asked him, why did you think like that? I said, you see, I feel so bad that we people are losing money or income or revenue that could be coming. And you know what? Even our competitors can be coming to us. Because
Yes.
if you can afford to buy a generator,
Yeah.
don't you think those competitors can come and they bring
Yeah,
an
we are the
income?
only, we'll be the
my-
only people running while everybody is off
Let me
around
tell
here.
You
Yeah.
know, he challenged me. The following week, I had that generator.
Wow.
Not that I had the money,
Yes.
but what I did, you know,
Yes.
I learned negotiations.
Okay.
From the same network, I went to a certain gentleman who supplies, he supplies generators.
Yes.
And I asked him, can you do this? come to my place, measure and see the power that of course is required, then
Yes.
you bring that generator. So he came and checked, then he told me, Sarah, because you never know about the future,
Yeah.
instead of bringing an 80
KVA.
yes, KVA generator, I'll
Yeah.
bring a 100 KVA. I told him it's okay.
Yeah.
So I asked him now, can I then give you 1 million shillings?
Uh-huh.
And then the difference, I pay you in installments.
Yes.
When it comes to negotiations, let me tell you,
Yeah.
I negotiate. I negotiate.
You
And he
nego-
told me, oh no, sir. I said, please, just because you see, even if this generator stays in your premises and it is not helping you, let me just give you the 1 million.
Yes.
Then every month I'd be giving 200,000 shillings. So quickly I went to my circle.
Uh-huh.
I borrowed the money.
Uh-huh.
So part of it I invested it elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
Then 1 million I gave him.
Uh-huh.
And then every other month now I was generating income from my business and I was paying him.
Okay.
If I went to the bank, don't you think I could have paid so much money? But
Yeah.
because my circle, of course, they give you, I have a very good relationship with them.
Yes.
And when it comes to, of course, the interest that they charge is much lower than the bank,
Yes, the
I said,
circle
why
is-
not go to the circle?
Yes.
So I got my generator within a week and
Uh-huh.
we started, it came installed, and that is how we started now moving on with the business.
So you were able
Then
to
I-
operate now throughout the day.
Yes.
You know, whenever power went off, you just turned
And
on.
that the competitors really started coming to us and they give us money.
Okay.
You see, so
Yeah.
that is another thing that I also came to learn as an entrepreneur
Yeah.
or as a networker, because you see, when you network also with your employees, they come and they tell you, they give gain to you.
Okay.
And so that is another thing that I came to learn.
Yes.
Then the other thing, of course, as I've mentioned, is about negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can be able to also defer payment,
Yes.
that is a saving for the business as you gain.
Actually, talk about one of the challenge, and since you've had practical experience,
Yes.
one of the biggest challenge with small businesses is to raise capital
Yes.
and be able to build.
Yeah.
Because money is always in short supply.
Yes.
There's no time where you have enough money.
Yeah.
So how do you work around the issue of raising capital? Do you borrow from the bank? How do you avoid that? And if you have to borrow, do you pay? So what are the lessons you've learned about that?
That question is very good, because I would say when my husband died, he had borrowed some money for the businesses he was doing, especially construction and all that.
Yeah.
So there was quite a big amount of money that was supposed to pay,
Okay.
because of course he borrowed through the company, and so they came running after me.
Okay.
So, but because I believe that, as I've said, that solutions are with people.
Yes.
The same lady who took me to Dubai, I said, this lady, I know she has a relationship with one of the bank, the CEO of the bank that we had taken the money from.
Yeah.
So I quickly ran to her and I told her, you know what, I'm in another problem.
Yes.
You know, my husband died.
Uh-huh.
Please, can you help me? Because now the manager is running after me. He wants to come and take away one of the premises that my husband had put up.
Yeah.
And she told me, why not? Let me take you. So we sat, and then I negotiated I told the CEO the problem, and he told me, there's no problem, I'm going to help you as long as now you can pay. How much do you think you can pay? Imagine him asking you, how much do you think you can pay? So
That is the bank.
yes. How much do you think you can pay?
Exactly.
And because he checked and he saw before we got to a point where you were paying very well,
Yeah.
then I told him the reason why we were not able to pay is because now my husband fell sick. We didn't even have money to pay for children's fees. It was very bad. He had
Yes.
kidney failure, and you can imagine every week we are spending about 40,000.
Yes.
Every week, 40,000. Then there are times you would be hospitalized, then you pay like 300,000, 400,000. So you can imagine money was in short supply.
Okay.
And now there's this money that I was supposed to pay to the bank. So I went and negotiated, and I was allowed to pay, of course, comfortably.
Yes.
And at times we fear to even go and negotiate, or even maybe tell someone about our problems. People fear talking about their problems because they think it is weak to do so.
Yes.
But when you go and tell someone, I have this problem, and be very genuine,
Yes.
and they can even check and see you are paying, why
Yes.
would they not listen to you?
Wonderful.
And there's one thing I also believe in.
Yes.
If I come to you, Geshoki, and you cannot give me the proper answer,
Yeah.
I'll go to another person who I think can help me.
Yes.
If that one can't help me, I go to the third one until I get a solution.
Exactly.
So I was given time to pay, so I started paying slowly. But then after that, I developed some fear of just going to the bank and just taking money. So what I did that time,
Yes.
when I realized I was not able to pay the money, I decided to, instead of going again to borrow money from another bank to come and pay this loan,
Yeah.
I disposed of some of the plots that we had bought.
Okay.
And of course, I picked the ones which didn't have very good value. So I sold them. After selling, I came and paid part of the loan.
Yes.
And then from there, now I put back now that money in some other businesses just to grow more incomes.
Okay.
So even today, what I do is if I can get things on credit
Yes.
and negotiate to pay in installments, that is what I like.
Yes.
Another thing, of course, is just getting some assets, selling them, bringing that capital and injecting in the business, and I move on like that.
Okay. One of the things you did, especially when you now had to pull out some money from some of the, you had to dispose of some property so that then you can bring in. What would you say? I think there's something about debt. One of the things that I think COVID has revealed is that any business that was highly indebted became very precarious. And what would you say, how should we treat debt? Generally, in business, if your business has a certain level of debt, should you be worried? Should you operate debt-free, or is there some kind of balance that one needs to achieve so that then you're not too exposed in case things go wrong?
There's some things I also came to learn, and this I learned through my daughter. I told you I have very good ears for listening, and I also question.
Yes.
Like I just told one of your people here, the cameraman.
Yes.
That I ask questions. I think, I don't know whether he picked.
You ask questions, and you ask this cameraman some questions during the break.
Yes, I asked him. I asked questions. So my daughter came and told me, Mom, have you ever heard about money market funds? I was like, I had, but I'm not really keen about them. So she sat me down and told me, Mom, we need to be putting money aside for the money market. And then also, when I joined now the network, I came to learn that all I used to believe in is that the best way to invest money is probably in plots and all that.
Yeah.
Then one of my finance advisors asked me, Sarah, in the event that you badly need money instantly and you don't have money in the bank, what will you do? I was like, okay. So I sat and I asked him questions, and he told me, Sarah, you need to invest, life investment. You also need to do maybe money market funds, but then I never took it very seriously.
Yeah.
And the moment I went now the money market way, so this time, of course, and also the investment through, of course, insurance.
Yeah.
Now, this time when the COVID struck, I quickly called one of them because I knew there is a project I wanted to do.
Yes.
But I also didn't want to take the money from, borrow money from the bank.
Okay.
So I went to him and asked him, how much now from all this time I've been investing? He told me, Sarah, your money is due in another 1 month's time.
Okay.
So I was able to take that money and invest it in wherever I wanted to put it.
Yes.
Now when it comes to debt,
yeah,
not everybody will operate the way I operate.
Yes.
And I also believe there is a time you can go to the bank and borrow money.
Yes.
But you don't have to borrow so much money to a point where you cannot be able to pay. Yes. Another mistake people make is you take the debt, you go buy yourself very nice clothes.
Yes.
You go buy yourself something different. But if you are borrowing money to go and invest in a venture that can, of course, bring money, put everything there. Don't divert it.
Don't divert the money.
Don't divert that money, because, of course, the intention was you put it in that investment so that you can grow more money, so that you can be able to pay. Another thing I learned from my husband is, and I found this very interesting, that when you borrow money from a bank, or from wherever you borrow, say like, for example, it's from La Saco.
Yes.
If the money is due on a certain date, pay it on that date. Why? If you pay before and it's still the same amount of money you're supposed to pay,
there's no advantage.
Yes, there's no advantage, because you see, that money you can regenerate it. You can put it back in the business, and then you keep on getting more money. You earn more, and then so when the date comes, pay it on that date. Okay. So for me, I was telling him, no, I think because we either have this money and we're supposed to pay it on 15th and we have the money. See, we just paid today on 5th. He told me, no, between 5th and 15th, you can be able to put in this money. And he put it on a piece of paper, and then he started calculating for me, and I was like, wow, this is wisdom.
Within 10 days, money which you would have given to your creditor, you can put it back in the business, and within that short time, especially your business, the business of supplies. So you can buy some supplies, or you have an order to supply, you can supply immediately. 2 days later, you are paid. So in other words, instead of getting excited that now you can sort this loan, you can plan yourself, recycle the money in the business, and make sure now on the due date you are able to pay. Again, you don't want to accumulate interest. Okay, very good.
And when you're also not able to pay, just go to the bank and explain to them that give me 1 more month or 2 more months. Instead of paying maybe this amount of money, allow me to pay maybe 80,000 instead of maybe 200,000, because this is my ability. Then from there, because of course if you don't talk, you find yourself, of course, accumulating, and then maybe the manager won't understand.
Yes.
So maybe you can put it in writing, and then whatever advice he gives you, you negotiate. It's just a matter of negotiation.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have negotiated with banks. I have had to beg a bank manager. I mean, you have to kind of like accept the reality.
Yes.
That business is tough. Things can get very, very difficult.
Yes.
And you have to be willing to go out there and be bold enough. These guys are human beings.
They are.
You don't tell them, no, I can't pay 200. I can pay 80.
Yes.
I can pay half of that this month and next month and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
So let's come back to
networking.
to networking because there are variable lessons. So we promised to talk about networking.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think maybe because there's so much, you can give us an overview. Why networking is so powerful for anyone in business?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Wow, now networking, I find it very interesting. It's very amazing, and I'm very passionate about networking.
You are the queen of networking.
Yes, it has transformed me. When you look at me like this, speaking with all this confidence, I could not speak like that before.
Okay.
And you see, people out here want to work and work with people who are very confident.
Yes.
Someone who knows who she or he is.
Yes.
Someone who knows the stuff they are talking about.
Okay.
And that is why when you go out to network with people, don't be this person who is like, no, show boldness, show confidence.
Yes.
Show that you know a number of things that in case you are confronted with a question, you can answer.
Yes.
Now, when I started learning how to network, it was through a friend of mine who invited me now to a network.
Yes.
So she came and told me, I used to go to promote her business. She has a restaurant along off Vika Road, that is on Garden Estate Road.
Yeah.
And she told me, Sarah, have you ever heard about networking? I said, now what is that? Can I take you to a place, but I'm not sure whether you'd be interested. I said, no. And that time is when now my business had been set on fire. So I was so desperate. And I was saying, okay, we can go. So when I went, I saw these people who were really networking. They were giving business, they was giving thank you notes and all that. And I was like, oh, this is what happens out here. And I was like, higher, let me try. So I went for the second time. It took me time to understand how it works.
Yes.
So in business, you need to take time to understand something. So when someone invites you to either a golf club, or you're invited to go to Rotary, or you're invited to go to a church, maybe it is God who is talking to you, but you don't realize.
Yes.
Because of course, you know what? When you relate with people well, this lady, I always used to support her. But she had that, this network is very good when it comes to people connecting each other for business.
Yes.
So now when I went, I came to learn about giver's gain. I came to learn that what goes around comes around.
Yes.
And I started thinking about it. And then I took a whole year. I became a member. And then I realized that, wow, I have stayed a whole year without business. I have continued giving referrals because I have a strong network. I have continued giving so much about myself, and nobody has come to help me. But I said, I am learning something.
Yes, yes.
Number one is patience.
Yes.
When you're in business, you have to be very patient. There's a time, maybe a customer will come and tell you, I'll come, but they don't come.
Yes.
Then find out why is it that they have not come. Probably are not expressing yourself nicely. So when you go out to network, networking is more of giving than receiving.
Yes.
The more you give, the more you receive later.
Yes.
But it may not be immediately. It is just like planting.
Yes.
It is why it is saying that networking is about planting relations. When you plant a seed,
yes,
you give it time.
Yes.
And you observe. Then you try to find out, why is it that this one has taken so long? Is it that probably the soil is not good? So what I'm talking about the soil is, as a person in business or as a human being, are those things that you are doing going on well with others that are making them to get pushed away from you because of your behavior? So what are you planting in people's lives?
Okay.
Then once you plant, do you have the patience to wait to receive back later?
To harvest.
And then you harvest. Because of course, it takes time for that seed to grow.
Yes.
You have to take care of it by watering it. You have to give it manure. You have to give it so much, even maybe good sunlight.
Yes.
And then you have to prune, making sure that of course whatever is not good on the plant is what is making it not to grow.
Okay.
And grow properly so that they can give you proper seeds, and then you can be able to harvest and then maybe sell or maybe consume. That is what is networking. Yeah.
So what you learned is that in networking, you're networking business people. You're giving them business ideas.
Yes.
You're somebody says, I'm looking for somebody who can supply, say for example, not cement, because that's you supply that, I guess. I'm looking for a hotel.
Yes.
That can accommodate my guests that are coming from abroad.
Yeah.
And you have a friend who has a hotel.
Yes.
So you refer them.
Yes.
And you give them that opportunity.
Yes.
And then you see the business has transacted,
Yeah.
and the person has been paid, and they are very happy.
Yes.
And Sarah, thank you so much for linking me to this person.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe somebody else is in farming.
Yeah.
They are looking for how to sell their products. You
Yes.
have been
Then you
to
link
the
them up.
market.
Yes.
You link them.
Yes.
So what you are saying is that networking requires you sow those kind of seeds.
Yes.
Help others.
Yes.
Give them the link they need for them to succeed in their business. And your turn will come.
Yes.
You will harvest one day.
Yes.
Give us one of the example of one of the biggest harvests you have ever gotten out of networking.
One thing that people need to understand about networking is that you have to be, as I said, you have to be patient, but also as you network, be very careful about the people that you meet, because there are some who let you down very badly.
Yes.
Number one, some of them may not be straightforward, so you have to take time to understand. For example, Mr. Gishoki.
Yeah.
Who is he? How does he? Who are the friends that he walks around with?
Yes.
And then you can also go online. Thank God, because now this time we are online. Try to Google Gishoki before you connect him to your networks, because you see, you are putting your name online.
Yes.
When you are connecting people that you don't know. One time I remember connecting somebody whom I had not even researched on, and then I came to learn later that this person had a very bad name. I was also working with another one who also had a very bad name, and people started asking me, Sarah, why are you damaging your brand? I asked why. You don't know this kind of person, what he does? I said, no, Google him up. Oh my goodness. When I checked, I was like, oh my, we had even taken photos, and we were there now going to do certain things together.
Yeah.
So it is good for you, even as you connect people for business or for anything, to first of all understand who they are, do a proper background. Then after that, now have the confidence of connecting them to opportunities that are open.
Yes.
And then as a networker, you need to step out. Don't just stay in one place and not even try to know people's businesses, what they do, what their needs are, then how you can connect them.
Yeah.
And the moment that then, of course, when you connect, of course, you are helping them to grow. So when you help them to grow, eventually, after some time, they also be helping you. So I said when I joined that organization in 2012, I took a whole year, no business. Second year, I got very little business. Today, I'm getting good business.
Yes.
And it's not only business. You know, people look at just how much the money. It is not the money bit.
Yes.
When you learn, you apply that knowledge in your business. Let me give you a very good example. I've talked about the generator.
Yes.
Now, again, there's a certain engineer who I invited to come and just look at my business and see how it is. He came and told me, Sarah, do you know what? The wiring here, do your motors keep on breaking down? I said, yes, very many times. When he came and did the rewiring, I can tell you, we have not done any rewiring of the generators. I mean, of the motors.
Yes.
Because he came and did it very well. Because before I was working with Juakali people. But now when you step out here, you get the right people to work with you.
Yes.
So you see, in this case now, he helped me to save money on repairs for my motors.
Yes.
He also did proper wiring. Another engineer came and told me, Sarah, I want to come and audit the consumption of your energy.
Yes.
So that maybe you can be able to save. So he came, he did an audit. So we were able to save more than, I think, 15% of the energy consumed, because he put some detectors which of course, you know, there are sometimes when power just passes and then you pay for it.
Yes.
So he came and put some detectors, those gadgets, I don't know what they are called.
Yes.
Such that when power comes in, whatever is used is what we are charged for.
Okay.
So when Kenya Power people came, they were asking, how come, do you know your power used to be this much? Now it is this much. And they came, they checked, and they were like, wow.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah,
so that is the essence of networking.
Okay.
Then they also, networking helps you to be visible. People get to know you. Like now, very many people know me because I share a lot online.
Yes.
I educate people a lot on networking, a lot of entrepreneurship. And I thank God because I have impacted millions of people through networking.
Absolutely.
And I also realized that, of course, the more I came to learn about networking, the more people came to learn about me. Organizations now even call me locally and internationally to go and speak about networking and about entrepreneurship.
Absolutely, Sarah. Indeed, and you know, because we are kind of running out of time.
Yes.
You have been recognized by a number of organizations.
Yeah.
Actually, tell us about, you won an award recently, this year actually, 2020, by the women in
Africa.
You won the award for the business global business woman of the year.
Yes.
Was that the award?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about that and how you get the ideas, how you've gotten recognized for your effort.
Yeah, I think that today I have 8 awards or 10 awards. I can't really remember how many, but they are I think about 10 now.
Yeah.
And the way the awards come, I don't go for them. I don't ask for them.
Yes.
So I just get called and I'm like, Sarah, we want to recognize you. And then you're like, recognize me? Yes, for what? There's an award I was given by Strathmore University.
Yes.
Now, when I came to learn that, of course, in networking, you have to continuously learn.
Yes.
And not just learn anything, but it's learn either something about entrepreneurship, you learn something about management, about anything that you think, of course, will help you to grow or elevate your life or your business.
Yes.
So I identified Strathmore University as my university.
Yes.
So I've been going to Strathmore to learn about entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Now, when I went there,
yeah,
there's a lady called Eunice Muzoni. Eunice works for SBS.
Yes.
And she looks for students to go and learn about business.
Yes.
We became very good friends.
Yes.
Up to today, she's a very good friend of mine.
Yes.
And Eunice asked me, Sarah, can you help me get people to this class?
Yes.
And me, I went flat out.
You are such a marketer. Yes. You managed to fill up her class.
Yes, and I was able to fill up a class of 27. And then after that, I continued sending more money to, not money, sorry, more people to them.
Yes.
I think so far I've referred about 35 people.
Okay.
And I never asked for any commission.
Yes.
And they were very amazed. Now, there's a professor called Professor Angombe, who is also a very good friend of mine.
Yes.
He was shocked at how I was able to bring all those people together.
Yes.
Then we went through a class called Enterprise Development Program.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in the class, I was the class president.
Yes.
And I was able to bring and gel those people together such that it's only, I think, 2 people who did not graduate.
Okay.
Other classes didn't have people who are graduating as they were. You see, maybe they would be registered as 25 or as 30. But you find that, of course, fewer are the ones who graduate.
Yeah.
So they asked me, how come that, Sarah, your class has graduated so many? And I said, you know what? Over the weekends, I bring them together so that we can see how we can support each other in business. That is networking.
Yes.
And then after that, now we did some, of course, we were given some homework to do a business plan. I was the first person to finish my business plan.
Yeah.
And finally, then, of course, they realized that I was very, very productive. And of course, I also helped the university a lot.
Yeah.
And that is why then, of course, when an opportunity came, they looked around and they said, out of our students, we want to give an award.
Yes.
So the person who all of them voted for was Sarah, because I was valuable to them. So
Sarah was
to give value.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sarah ended up being the most valuable, and and they recognized you. Other people have recognized you.
Yeah.
And I really want to congratulate you. I want to say, honestly, Sarah, you have done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I have interacted with you,
Yes.
and you have mentored me. So I'm very happy that you have had, I've had opportunity to work with you. You invite me in, and you've connected me to some of your friends.
Yes.
And we have more to do off
Thank
the show,
you.
of course. So viewers, I believe that you're learning a lot. You've learned a lot from this program. Sarah Karingi is a real entrepreneur, practical person. She has learned a lot practically by doing, and I think your story is so inspiring. So I would like you to look at that camera and talk to some of these women and tell them that they can make it. Just give them like 1 minute. Just tell them. Give them some inspiration.
Yes, what I would like to tell ladies out there is that as a woman, you have to believe in yourself. That today we are living in a world that it's a lot of competition. And one thing that has really helped me to change and to grow, I've associated myself with the right people, and most of them are men. The reason being, men talk a lot of sense. Men also talk a lot of, whatever they talk about mostly is business. And because I want to grow as an entrepreneur, I've associated myself with people who are very professional when it comes to business. And that is why I'll say, as a woman, don't even fear talking to that man who you can see is a professional in business, and you'll go very far.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That's a very powerful nugget. Very, very nice summary and an insight. I believe we would like to have you again so that you can continue. You have so many ideas to share. And so thank you so much for staying on this show. I believe you have learned a lot from Sarah. I believe that you're going to be a better business person. And so You can text or write to us. The numbers on the screen. And you can also get in touch with Sarah at www.sarahkaringi.com. Sarah is actually reachable. She has a website.
Yeah.
So you can get in touch with her. Her Facebook, look for her on Facebook page, social media. She's very active, and we are so glad that you're watching. Thank you. We've come to the end of the Gigi Report this episode, and thank you for staying tuned. We look forward to another episode, and God bless you so much. Bye for now.